But the way things are now,
Shit's wild.
they can just make as much money as they want to make. So like,
As we saw during the pandemic.
yep, if you want to make, like, if you want more money, you just
Print
go
that
make
shit.
more money. Like,
Yeah, you gotta do a bill real quick. You gotta sit down, talk about it, and do a bill. But if everybody decides that we're gonna print more money's getting printed.
exactly. So you can just ball out of control. Like if you wanted like make, if you were playing Monopoly and you wanted more money in the Monopoly game and you just bought more Monopoly kits and just started putting more money in that bitch, that's exactly what would be.
That's perfect, bro.
You would just buy like 10 different kits and then everybody would have like, yo, we're all 100 millionaires. And it would just be going crazy.
We back. We black.
Yes, we are black and back. Both East Coast native living in California. He's in LA. I'm in San Diego. Two somethings in a pod.
If you came for serious shit and if you came to be educated, you came to the wrong fucking place, buddy.
Only on the Dom Jackson Experience.
I feel alive. Back in person.
Back in person.
Yes. Rare. Gotta thank my co-host for joining me up here in Los Angeles. I know it's a fucking trek to get up here.
It is the city of Los Angeles.
The city of Lost. Is that what it means?
I think it does. I think that's what they call it.
You Spanish, nigga?
Maybe.
Los Angeles. That's crazy. You might be right. I'll have to look it up.
It's not found Angeles.
All right. Not found, Angeles. All right. Yeah, you gotta leave. You gotta get
I
out.
think I can't be here anymore.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is the Two Somethings in a Pod podcast.
We're like two peas in a pod, but we didn't want to be peas. But we are your favorite boys on the blockchain, making the blockchain fun for everyone.
Yes, making the blockchain fun for everyone, making it more consumable. We are not the breaking news Web3 podcast, but we are just trying to make it easier to understand what's going on in the space.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. I'm Dom Jackson, founder of Day by Day Media, and I'll just let you go and say your thing.
And I'm Ozzy McIntosh, co-host of Two Somethings in a Pod. We back.
We black.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes.
yes.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Yes, Rooney.
Yes.
We're here, talking about Web3, crypto, all the great things.
Yes.
Ozzy, how you been, bro? How you feeling?
Bro, I've been good, man. I've actually been low key, high key, trying to understand what's going on in the background of the blockchain. So
shit.
I've been trying to teach myself Solidity. And when I say teach myself, I mean guided tutorials about Solidity, and Solidity is like the programming language for the Ethereum blockchain. At least it's the most known one. So I figure
Learning how to speak Solidity.
learning how to speak Solidity, basically, yeah. It's similar to other languages, which helps for sure. I still consider myself a beginner developer for sure. So, I mean, by far. So it makes it easy to learn. But I'm learning that specifically, and I figure it's best to say it on the show so that I could take the hard technical topics that I'm learning that are like kind of mysterious about the blockchain and bring them into the show and make them like, dumb it down a little bit, both for myself as a learner and for our consumer. Our consumers and our people that are listening aren't dumb.
Yeah.
But it helps when shit's simple, always, right?
Ozzy got the code. Ozzy got the keys to the code. And I got the mode. I don't know what the mode is.
Dom got the mode.
That's dope, man. LA is beautiful. We had some conversations with our boy JR from Noir Invest last night, talking to the big homie.
Yeah, shout out JR. Shout out Noir Invest.
Yes, absolutely. The brothers. Well, not brothers, but our brothers, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, we here, Web3, blockchain, all those good things.
How you been, bro?
Oh, yeah, how am I been? I've been good. Working on being more intentional.
Yes.
More intentional in all forms of life.
That's the key, bro. That's the key.
Also, real fast, I gotta walk back some stuff. That's just for comedic stuff. I think about 6 episodes ago, I said I was going to do a comedy show and jiu-jitsu tournament.
Stand-up.
Stand-up tournament, yes.
Yeah.
So, not stand-up tournament. I was the comedy show and jiu-jitsu tournament. Those are 2 things that are still on my list.
Yes.
But Day by Day Media is taking more energy for me. I'm focusing more on Day by Day and the business aspect of stuff. So I'm walking those back on camera as well. You gotta say
Got
what
it.
you gotta be intentional what you're gonna do, and you gotta be intentional what you're gonna shift to.
Yes. Hey man, when you build in public, sometimes you gotta take. It's not even necessarily an L. Allowed to change our minds, right?
Absolutely. Now make sure you guys all like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. We're all going to be doing a lot more stuff for answering the questions in all the episodes as well. So put a comment below of anything you have, any questions you have on the blockchain. We'll be telling the rest of our shows and episodes going on now to then in the future to doing things that fit more into what you guys want to know about the blockchain. So episodes will be a lot more information based in that aspect. So put a comment below or tweet us.
Yes.
Dom Jackson 747.
Tweet me at Ozzy McIntosh.
And at Twitter at 2_somethings if you have any questions. So we'll make it a lot more interactive.
Yes.
Today we're going to be talking about what is cryptocurrency and, taking the show from there.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Speaking of Twitter, we have Web3 tweets.
I'm always going to make that noise.
Yes. Our first tweet comes from Bloomberg, Australia. The tweet says, California Governor Gavin Newsom, for those who don't know, both me and Dom live in California. He had vetoed a bill that would require crypto financial service businesses to get a special license to operate. He's calling it premature and costly. So, that's like, to me, that's like him basically taking not necessarily a stand against people that are like against crypto, but he's standing with for the time being, because it seems like he thinks that it's not fleshed out. Regulation is not fleshed out enough to even be like making other regulations. That's what it sounds like.
That is what it sounds like. It seems that I'm kind of with him on that though. I don't know if he said he's not ready to regulate this stuff.
Yeah, basically he's not ready to like force crypto financial service businesses to get like a special license to move.
How many crypto financial service businesses are out there right now?
I think there's a lot. In California, I'm not sure how much they are, but there's definitely a lot of like venture capitalists, crypto related, and I think that's more what they're talking about. Any crypto financial, I guess even means exchanges, because if you're an exchange, you're facilitating financial transactions, right?
Yeah.
So that's probably one too. And there's mad exchanges, so I get it. I mean, it's just like, I think even like DraftKings, they have to get right now. I don't think sports betting is allowed in California, and I think that's going to be voted on in November, but they would have to get that special license to operate here in California. But that I think industry is like fleshed out, and it's already like mature, and sports betting has been around for who knows how long, probably before the internet existed. Motherfuckers are betting on horses since way back in the day.
Yeah, they were.
You know what I mean? So as that matured, they started to realize that certain things were happening and that there needed to be some type of regulation, which is something that I think we talked about last week, where regulation itself can help for less bad stuff to happen, right? In the industry, because we're not talking about just JPEGs and shit. We're talking about people moving actual money.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So after a while, that has to be.
Yeah, it definitely has to be regulated.
It has to be. Yeah.
I wonder how much that's going to cost, though. I can see why he's like, nah, not yet.
Exactly.
Because it's definitely not it's not as massively adopted as it will be.
There we go. Yes.
Yeah. So he probably's like, yeah, I'm not putting that money in that shit yet.
Yeah. I mean, shit, man. Motherfuckers out on the street like this. We got to worry about other shit. I'm trying to go after crypto fucking exchanges and shit. It's wild. So good on him. I mean, not minus any political views that I have of him or anybody has of him. I think it's a good move. Just period. Like, not to be premature on that. Right. So our next tweet comes from, sorry, I just lost it. Our next tweet comes from Orman Ford. He said, what if, we have one true cryptocurrency and an AI controlling the stable coin to make it fair to everyone? What if? So what if we had one true cryptocurrency and an AI controlling the stable coin to make it fair to everyone? That's technically what like the US dollar is, right? But I guess it's different currencies, huh? There's no one currency.
There is no one currency.
Like in our today world.
No, it's mad currencies. But like if one AI even controlled I guess that's probably where everything would have to go to make it super. Because at the point of decentralization, let's say like the max decentralization is everyone gets like one vote.
Yes.
And AI would still have to go through all the votes and determine what everything is.
Yeah, I mean, the AI is definitely capable of doing that today for sure. All those transactions.
Yeah, would you want that though?
Because then that's central. I mean, again, I'm not against centralizing our decentral world of Web3, but I don't know. I think it's a good question to ask. I think that there's going to be like how USDC is kind of like considered the stable coin, you know, like that's like when people think of a stable coin, first thing that comes to mind is USDC. And for those who don't know what USDC is, it's just a coin that's pegged to the value of the US dollar. So whatever the US dollar is worth at this moment, that's what the USDC coin is worth. So they're parallel to each other. Now, shit, man, I don't know. And then the AI part, I didn't think about that. AI controlling the stable coin to make it fair. I don't think AI would need to control the stable coin. I think the blockchain itself would take care of that part of it.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of different layers of this one. I'm just like, I'm not really sure where it would go.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, these are the type of questions that need to be asked for the industry to, you know, just be creative and think, you know.
Because again,
and who programmed the AI?
Exactly. Because like whoever programmed the AI, like I just can't. It just seems like if you program the AI that's running all the money in the world, like I just don't see anyone being like, oh man, like don't worry, the AI got this.
It's like, actually the top comment right under the tweet. It says, "Who programmed the AI?" would be the question with an owl saying who. And then he actually responded. He said another AI programmed it after reading this tweet. All right.
So AI programmed the AI that programmed the AI. Like it has to come from somebody has to be original guy.
Absolutely. So that's be or at least so there's like in development, something I found out in the past couple of weeks, there's open source, which is like basically anybody can contribute to a certain project. And it doesn't just mean like the code part. It could mean like editing the documentation, like for grammar checks and stuff. So it could be an open source AI, which I think exists. I know exists specifically for Web3 world, for like transactions, because we're talking about cryptocurrency specifically. We're not talking about the other stuff that comes with Web3. We're talking about specifically moving money from one wallet to another.
Next, yeah.
In a decentralized manner. Yeah, I mean, good question though. Good question. Shout out to Orman.
Yeah, it's an interesting question for real.
Yes, sure. Now, on that same topic, we talked about the US dollar, which I guess in the financial world they do call it USD or the dollar. So the question is like the dollar versus crypto. And I don't think it necessarily needs to be the dollar versus crypto, but what's like the differences between those two things? Now, how would you describe the dollar itself today?
Because the dollar today now, I think one of the biggest reasons that people end up going to crypto and going in the crypto space, because they just don't trust a lot of the things that the dollar, that having a like centralized power with finance is. Yeah. To keep it pretty simple. It's not a financial podcast. To keep like a very general idea of how things are.
For sure.
You know, with the dollar being the standard for all the money in the world, more or less. And the dollar not having like at one point the dollar was tied to a gold standard. So like, you know, depending how much gold was in the thing, that you could have that many dollars because there was that much gold. So gold, it was a relative amount. There was a way to control everything. Yes. But the way things are now,
it's wild.
They can just make as much money as they want to make. So like,
as we saw during the pandemic.
Yep. If you want to make, like, if you want more money, you just go make more money. Like
you got to do a bill real quick. You got to sit down, talk about it, and do a bill. But if everybody decides that we're gonna print more money's getting printed.
Exactly. So you could just ball out of control. Like if you were playing Monopoly and you wanted more money in the Monopoly game and you just bought more Monopoly kits and just started putting more money in that bitch, that's exactly what would be.
That's perfect, bro.
You would just buy like 10 different kits and then everybody would have like, we're all 100 millionaires and it would just be going crazy.
Dude, changes the whole fucking system, huh?
It really does.
Inflation happens, all this stuff.
Yeah, for lack of a better word, that's basically what the world is like. And you know, having all that power being trusted to people,
the government,
it made that it just.
That's the one thing.
Yeah, it's like I don't know about Uncle Sam holding down everyone all the time with all that money. So
exactly. So the cryptocurrencies that exist today, you know, the Bitcoins and the Ethereums are not controlled, or at least for the time being, are not controlled by one single entity, right? They're not controlled by, and that single entity most likely that we're trying to stay away from in this space is the government. We don't want the government to have full control over all this. We want regulation to mitigate some of the risk, right?
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah, and so like having it be a lot more power being in the hands of the people, and then having the blockchain, like the ledger, being able to check everything publicly. It's also really big too, because when money gets printed in the current setting, when money gets printed, or when cash flow goes anywhere,
yes,
you can't always see what's going on behind the scenes, because banks do bank stuff. Like banks do bank
stuff. That's a fact.
but you don't get the information, so there's stuff going on that you may not always see.
Exactly.
But with everything going on with the crypto space as a whole and the blockchain, everything is a lot more public and visible, and that is like another appeal. So like money that is more controlled by people, and visibly, like the things are more visible, more transparent for everyone involved.
Great, yeah, exactly. So actually on Gemini.com, there's actually a really good resource called Cryptopedia. I'm on it often to learn more about just blockchain, crypto, anything related to the space. And they did a really good summary. So fiat money, which is what we call the dollar in any country, is legal tender whose value is tied to some government issued currency like the US dollar. And then the difference is cryptocurrency is more of a digital asset that derives its value from the blockchain itself. Right? And then the issuance, like we talked about how they issue money, the dollar, they print that shit and they throw it out into the fucking abyss of the world, and we decide what to do with it, right? The issuance of money today, our paper money, fiat currency, is dictated by the central banks.
Yes.
Right? And then while blockchain is dictated by code and the communities that govern the cryptocurrency. So it's definitely more of like a democratic system.
Yeah.
Not all blockchains are the same. Let's be clear about that. There's definitely blockchains where people that have more tokens have more power and more decisions. Those are DAOs for the most part, decentralized autonomous organizations. The more tokens you have in most of these organizations, the more power you have, and that starts to get a little bit like centralized, right? Where like the people with the most money in our world today, not even technically, have the most power. They do. They got the most money. They get to make the most decisions, right?
1,000%.
The difference now is that people that would never ever be able to accumulate that much power or money, not never ever, but they would have took them a longer time, right? There's people now that not overnight, but over the past 5 to 10 years have accumulated wild amounts of wealth through cryptocurrency. So now they are able to make decisions that they wouldn't have been able to otherwise. They weren't going to become politicians. These are kids that were in their basement like coding and stuff. These are kids that were playing like video games.
Yep.
These are like
code kings.
Yes, exactly. These are our generation of people, and even people that are older than us, that decided, oh shit, like I'm interested in this, and they got money out of it. They got money, and they continue to get money out of it, and now they have the power to make decisions based off of that wealth that they built in the space.
They do.
Crazy.
They do. It's definitely crazy. It really is, and it's one of those things that as we watch time, we'll see how everything really ends up playing out more. Mm-hmm. But people definitely don't like the centralized system. Like COVID definitely proved that like people do not trust centralization at all.
Yes,
and they're trying to find whatever way they can to get to that next spot, because they're like, if you got unlimited money, but it affects me and I can get hurt from your decisions, it's like I'm not with that at all, fam.
Unlimited money. Okay, and then that's another thing that we probably should mention is that some cryptocurrencies have like a very limited amount. Bitcoin's value is based like its current value right now, and the reason why people believe Bitcoin to be valuable is because there is a cap on the amount of Bitcoin that can ever be created, right? And if there's just like anything else, like if there's only like 5 pair of Jordan game worn jerseys, those are more valuable than like his 1,000 pairs of whatever else. You know what I mean? If anything, when there's scarcity, there's value, and there's like value being created through scarcity is something that is going to always be a thing.
Yep.
And the fact that people or a person was able to figure out how to do that in a digital world, and then have that be accessed by everyone, which is like, that's the thing. It's hard for somebody in Africa to be able to get a US dollar without having to go like through something, you know what I mean, like some type of system. Whereas you could just open up your cryptocurrency wallet on most exchanges and just buy it real quick, and now you have US dollars.
Now you have it,
or the US
you have the
equivalent, you know what I mean, which is crazy.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
Insane. We're living in a crazy world right now, man. I think it's going to be a thing where most people aren't going to, like, first of all, I mentioned my Bitcoin story last episode. My skepticism towards it has led into like just all types of curiosity. And I think it's going to be a lot of people's same thing, where it's like they're going to be very skeptical of it, as they should. I don't think that anybody should just be like, oh, this is fucking amazing. You know what I mean? Like, I think everybody should have some type of skepticism so that they protect themselves. But yeah, I think it's going to be a thing where there's more and more people are going to want to know what's going on in the space. People that have that, you know, traditional power already. And because of that, because of those people at the top being interested in it, it's going to trickle down. And then vice versa. People right now that would never have access, like I mentioned before, are being able to raise themselves up. So it's going to be a crazy like meeting in the middle. And I'm excited to see what that looks like.
Yeah, definitely a lot better access, easier to reach, like, because there's all these spots you can just buy it, you know, all these marketplaces or exchanges where you can get currency. That
they got Bitcoin ATMs, like
that is nuts. That's some wild,
that's crazy,
insanity things that be going down. But yeah, they're still very, because everything is still so new.
Mm-hmm.
I can definitely see why people are very much skeptical of it.
Yeah, but this is what we're here for, to be able to break stuff down so that people can have a better idea. In general, people are afraid of stuff that they don't know, right? As they should. But being able to have it broken down in your head and have it be understood can create that like shattering of the barrier at least, and then they can make the decision whether or not they want to fuck with it.
Yeah, and it just takes that one person of influence to unlock the next group of people to come into it too. It's kind of just like very much like a ripple effect.
Exactly. Hey, shit, maybe we'll be those people. Maybe we'll be that influence.
That's exactly who the fuck we are.
Let's go.
We're here to be that next influence to help you and everyone you care about get to that next stage of understanding the blockchain. Like we said before, we're two summits in the pod. My name is Dom Jackson. You can follow me at DomJackson747 on Instagram and Twitter.
You can follow me at OAMJR on Instagram, and you can follow me at Ozzy McIntosh on Twitter. I need to get my Twitter up, so I'm going to need y'all to help me out.
Definitely follow him then.
Please. You can follow the both of us at Two Somethings in a Pod on pretty much everywhere except for Twitter.
That's on Twitter, we're 2_somethings.
Yes, please like, share,
subscribe, all that good shit.
Comment,
definitely comment,
please.
And thank you guys so much for watching, and take care.